Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. You are no doubt aware that Zhilei Zhang scored what a lot of people consider to be a big upset over Joe Joyce. I myself picked Joyce to win sort of rounds 8, 9, 10, that sort of time. Got that wrong, as did a lot of people. I did a little poll. Who do you think is going to win and in what manner? And most people went for Joyce by stoppage. I think it was about 70% of all the people on the channel who voted. So I thought, what's next for Zhilei Zhang then? Because the guy's, I think he's 40 in 2 weeks' time, and his options are limited anyway. But at that age, you've got to wonder. Although having said that, for a guy who's nearly 40, he looked absolutely fantastic. His skills, he's clearly underrated. I underrated him probably up until the Hrgović fight, but also after the Hrgović fight. Because Hrgović to me looked out of sorts, and no, I think, probably I should give, with retrospect, and of course hindsight has the old 2020 vision, but should probably give Zhang a lot more credit than I have done in the past, and I am doing now. Sometimes you get it wrong. But I thought, what's next for him? Well, let's go through some of the heavyweights that are out there. We'll start with the obvious ones. Tyson Fury, not a hope in hell will he fight Zhang. Fury is at the point of his career where he wants everything weighted in his favour, and where he wants to control everything and everyone around him. So I don't see him fighting Zhang anytime soon. Although I'm not saying that he would lose to Zhang. He may well beat him. I just don't think it's going to happen, and I don't think is there much money in it? Probably not. I don't know really. Promoters don't promote anymore, so it's all about social media and platforms, and it's not really about promoters actually doing the promotional side of things. Almost the fighters are expected to promote themselves, but Zhang, even though he's raised his profile in Britain and in America with Top Rank, the Hrgović fight, and people know who he is, but he's not what you'd call, he's certainly nowhere near transcending the sport, and he's certainly nowhere near becoming someone who in Western eyes anyway, is considered a big draw. So I don't think Fury's going to fight him anytime soon. Alexander Usyk will fight anyone. That would be a very interesting fight. Usyk obviously would be dwarfed in terms of weight by Zhang. Zhang is 6'6" and very, very skillful. Usyk we know all about, a brilliant technical fighter, ducks no one. Don't think it will happen, but I'd be fascinated to see it. Anthony Joshua, I don't think Derek James will let Joshua anywhere near Zhang, and quite rightly so. Again, I'm not saying that Joshua hasn't got a chance against Zhang. I'm not that naive, but it's again high risk, low reward. Andy Ruiz, that would be an interesting fight. I would favour Zhang to beat Ruiz. By the way, I would probably pick Zhang over Joshua, but 55-45, 60-40 maybe. Against Ruiz, I'd make Zhang probably a 70-30 favourite. Will it happen? Unlikely. But, again, it's not impossible. Deontay Wilder, when you've got that right hand power, that laser-like wallop in your right hand, yeah, okay, he's a threat. But Zhang has proven himself to have a very, very good jaw. He took some good punches from Hrgović and Joyce, and there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with his jaw. I think that Jerry Forrest draw where he had Forrest on the floor early and then ran out of gas, and there was some sort of kidney complaint. I don't think that was an excuse. I think we can now sort of look back and say, well, yeah, that seems to have been a legitimate reason rather than an excuse for a poor performance. So again, Wilder, you never know. If he lands the right hand, he'll put Zhang over. But and there's no doubt who's got the better skills, and that's Zhang. Dillian White, I would pick Zhang to flatten White, absolutely flatten him. Again, White's still got the left hook, but his punch resistance is shot to bits. I don't think he's got any hope against, no realistic hope against Zhang. I would make Zhang an 80-20 favourite in that fight. Luis Ortiz, Ortiz now 55. He's probably about my age. In realistic terms, he's meant to be 40 something. Do me a favour, as Frank would say. But no. I mean, it would be a good ticking over fight for Zhang. I think Zhang would beat Ortiz by knockout, but I don't. I just don't see how that would propel him forward. People would say, "All right, you beat Luis Ortiz, so what?" Ortiz has most recently been beaten by Andy Ruiz, and he's been knocked out twice by Wilder. Then you got Daniel Dubois. There was no way on God's green earth Warren or Queensberry would let Dubois anywhere near Zhang. Zhang, I think, would beat Dubois up, although, again, Dubois can hit, so you can't rule it out. But I would make that an 80-20 fight in favour of Zhang. A rematch with Filip Hrgović? What do you think about that one? I'd like to see that. I really would like to see that. And I think this is the one that might make the most sense, because as much as I rate Hrgović highly, Hrgović is a weird one, because I rate him, but I think he's overrated, if you know what I mean. I think some people see him as being, for many years now, I've seen him as being the next, great heavyweight. And he's got some skills, and there's no doubt about it. But I think I saw some serious negative body language in that fight with Zhang. I think that the first round knockdown wasn't a knockdown. I think it was a forearm round the back of the head that sort of, pulled Hrgović over. But at the same time, in the middle rounds, like rounds 5, 6, Hrgović didn't like his body language at all, and I don't think he likes it on him. I suspect that might be the case. There's a question mark over him. Good fighter, very good fighter, but overrated in some quarters, in my opinion. And I think if you could make that rematch, and there is obviously some sort of momentum or something that could be built on for it, because they fought before and it was a very controversial decision, I think that would be a very good step forward for Zhang. And Hrgović, because Hrgović can, if Hrgović was to convincingly beat Zhang next time round, he'll have sort of removed that question mark or slight cloud above his head. I think that would be a good one. Who else have we got? We're down to people like, Joseph Parker, who's going to be on the comeback trail, got stopped by Joyce. Again, that would be a ticking time fight for Hrgović. I'd pick him to beat Parker. Then you've got, some of the lesser experienced fighters. I mean, Frank Sanchez, that would be a very good fight, but would it sell? No. Sanchez really, I mean, his last 3 opponents have been real low level for a guy who's hailed as being an extremely, I mean, he's an orthodox fighter. Whereas Zhang is southpaw. He's meant to be only 30, although like a lot of these Cubans, at the very least, he looks a lot older. And I don't know whether he is a lot. He probably is a lot older. They got some funny birth certificates in Cuba, you know what I mean? But he's 6'4", Sanchez. Zhang's 6'6". So, yeah, I mean, that would be a battle of boxers. And it would be interesting, but that would be sort of one for the connoisseurs. It wouldn't be one that could be, even a real big promoter would find a difficult angle to promote that from. But I would have no problem with it. It's a good boxing, good well-matched boxing fight. I'd like to see it. Martin Bakole. What about Martin Bakole? I picked Zhang to beat Bakole, but I'd say 65-35 in favour of Zhang for me. Bakole, fair play to him. He's come back from that Michael Hunter defeat well. Beat the previously undefeated Tony Yoka in Paris. So he's done some good things. I like Bakole. I think he's good. He's probably a bit underrated himself, but I don't know whether he's underrated to the point where he would beat Zhang or have any kind of realistic chance. Someone who's on the comeback trail is F.A. Ajagba, who hasn't done much since Sanchez outpointed him. So maybe he would roll the dice and take on Zhang. That would be quite a big scalp. I'd like to see that one. I think Zhang would win it convincingly. Points probably, but like a wide points decision or maybe a late stoppage, but I'll go with the points. Otto Wallin, he's floating around. Zhang beats Wallin. Wallin might last a distance, but I can't see him outpointing Zhang. Arslanbek Makhmudov, another one in the Who Needs Him club. He's undefeated, 16-0, but could they sell it? I mean, he's a big lad, isn't he, Makhmudov? About 6'6", which is roughly Zhang's height. He's 33, which is 6.5 years younger than Zhang. Based in Canada. I don't know what his promotional situation is, but I don't know about that one. I don't know. It's a difficult one, that. And another ticking time fight for Zhang would be Carlos Takam, who's just beaten Yoka. I think Zhang would beat up Takam and probably stop him in about 8-9 rounds. Who have I missed out? Have I missed anyone? Oh, Jared Anderson. I mean, that would be a really interesting fight because I'm quite high on Anderson. I think he's a very, very good fighter. He's only 23, and so you've got the old sort of sensei, if you like, 13, 40-year-old Zhang with the young, gunslinger. That would be a good fight, actually. That would be a good fight. But who would I make favourite in that one? Interesting. I think early on, Anderson, it would be a threat. But does he have the engine? All his fights are ending so quickly that we're just not getting an idea of what kind of gas tank he has, how much imagination he has, because he's kind of being a big unit. Anderson, he's been able to put the heat on opponents and sort of bully them and muscle them. And with Zhang, that ain't going to happen. So once we get past 4, 5, 6 rounds, what's Anderson going to be like? Because don't forget, Zhang now holds this WBO interim title, which is, I think it's a load of crap, but they are 12-round fights if you want to fight for that belt. But that'll be an interesting fight. That'll be a very good fight. I like that idea. But anyway, so we've gone through all of them, most of them. If I've missed anyone out, leave it in the comments. But the point is, Zhang, nearly 40 years old, has this WBO interim title. You would think Usyk is the man he's after. I presume the WBO are going to order an Usyk match. Is that going to happen? Well, that would depend on this supposed, supercard that the Saudis are meant to be putting together for December, which may or may not happen. I don't know. I've no idea. It sounds fanciful to me, but I'm kind of a wake me up when we get there guy anyway. But Usyk and Zhang, I think would be a great fight. I'd love to see it. It wouldn't be necessarily the most exciting fight, but it would be very, very intriguing, and definitely one for the connoisseurs, one for the hardcore fans. But leaving that avenue out, there doesn't seem to be a lot of options for Zhang at 40, and he deserves the payday. Without question, he deserves a big, big payday. He deserves a chance at the title, as far as I'm concerned. Even though he lost to Hrgovic, it was a very close fight. And to come back and come over to Britain and beat up Joyce, who was on a roll and previously undefeated, I think he's earned his right to have a title shot. So I'm big on Zhang. I've underrated him in the past. I'm not going to do that anymore. But I'll tell you what, I don't know. I think his options are limited, and I suppose the Usyk pathway is the only one open to him, perhaps. What do you do if all roadblocks are up? Well, you keep beating other contenders. You keep knocking off your other contenders. This is what traditionally has happened, and you force the champions, or you force the public to demand the champions face you. But at 40, has he got time to do that? And maybe he has. I mean, Christ, Luis Ortiz, he says he's 44. He's probably 54, but he's still fighting. Zhang's probably got some years left, because there ain't a lot of miles on the clock, are there? I mean, he's... what is he now? 25, 26 wins and 1 defeat. He's got a bit of time left. He's probably got 2-3 years left before he starts to really decline. But yeah, what do you think? Leave your comments below, as always. And yeah, thanks for your time. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hit the like button. Give a cheeky little punch on that like button. It takes you a second to subscribe. Do that for us. You'd be helping us out a great deal. I appreciate it. And yeah, we'll talk again soon. Much love to you. Be good. Bye for now.